In the early years, Wilbur and Orville were two young boys with a lot of determination. With their parents Milton and Susan Wright being so well-rounded, it gave Wilbur and Orville a chance to explore their outer boundaries. Along the way, Orville and Wilbur would face many challenges, but with great determination and a love for airplanes, nothing was going to stop them from reaching their dreams. Orville and Wilbur Wright were sons of Milton and Susan Wright. Milton Wright was born on the Indiana frontier in 1828. He served as an educator, a minister, and later a bishop in the Church of the United Brethren in Christ. Susan Wright was born near Hillsborough, Virginia in 1831. Susan was a daughter of a carriage maker. She spent most of her time in her father's shop and developing mechanical aptitude. When Susan became an adult, she would make household appliances and toys for her children. Whenever her boys needed mechanical advice, they would go to their mother, Susan. Milton and Susan had seven children. Wilbur, the third son, was born in 1867 near Millville, Indiana. Orville, the sixth child, was born in Dayton, Ohio in 1871. Wilbur was named for Wilbur Fiske and Orville for Orville Dewey, both clergy men that Milton Wright admired. The brothers were Will and Orville to their friends, and the Bishop kids to their neighbors in Dayton, Ohio. Since Milton traveled a lot for church business, he would always send letters and often would bring back presents. The gifts that Milton would bring back for his boys would help them stimulate their minds and expose them to a world beyond their surroundings. One present that Milton brought back was a rubber band-powered toy helicopter. Wilbur and Orville made several copies of this toy. It was the first powered aircraft that they built together. In 1881, Milton founded a monthly religious newspaper, The Star, for fellow conservatives. Often Wilbur would help out by constructing a machine to fold the papers for mailing, perhaps his first original invention. Orville was also handy as well. He would make kites and sell them to his friends, and even stage an amateur circus. During the winter of 1885 to 86, Wilbur was injured in an ice skating game. Complications, both physical and mental, followed. Even though Wilbur was able to recover from his injuries, it had derailed his plans to enter Yale College and become a teacher. During Wilbur's recovery, he had read avidly and nursed his mother, who was suffering from tuberculosis since 1883. By 1886, she had become helpless, and in 1889, Susan had died. After the death of Susan, Wilbur recovered from his injury and joined Orville in the printing business. After Wilbur and Orville mastered the customary printing services, they moved on to building their own printing processes and briefly published two local newspapers. In 1892, the brothers went into the bicycling business. They first sold and repaired bicycles, and then in 1896, they started building their own. They had two designs. One was the top of the line, which was the Van Cleve, and a less expensive one was the St. Clair. Each bike was built to their customers' specifications. The brothers added a few improvements of their own, which was an oil-retaining wheel hub and coaster brakes, which are still used today. Ever since Milton brought home the helicopter toy, Wilbur and Orville had an interest in aviation. They followed German gliding pioneer Otto Lilienthal with great interest. Lilienthal's death in 1896 inspired the brothers to seriously investigate flight. Throughout all of Wilbur and Orville's early endeavors in the printing and bicycling business, they worked together, particularly on mechanical devices. Once they mastered one skill, they moved on and learned the next. Their experiences and skills would pay off in the future as they tackled challenges of flight. Now that you have a better understanding of the Wright brothers' early years in life, let's move our focus to their first flight.